So we are back home from Texas and we have a lot of work to do. So let's see if I can show you what we got going on here. The Mustang, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Got the tubular front end. So we are going to have to work on cutting the front end off so that we can get that all welded into place and be ready for when we get the motor back and the transmission to get it all together. As far as the Chevy goes, let's see here. We've got some control arm work to do. I say we, I mean Drew. I'm not going to do this part. So he will be fabricating some new control arms to help with the front end stance a little bit, because it's not exactly where he wants it. So got several things we got to get accomplished with the race vehicular devices this week, maybe into next week, but hopefully next week we get the motor and transmission back for the Mustang and can work on getting it all back together. Pretty exciting, right? All right, I'll update y'all later. There's my old front end. And here's what we got going on now. Got the new tube front end put on. Just needs to be welded into place. So making some progress. Woohoo! Here is everything that we've got so far. We got the Team Z Motorsports tubular front end pre-welded, and Drew got that all in place. We got the fenders fitted, relocated some things here. We put our attachment points in so that we can get our radiator in. That fits really nice. Did a little bit of painting to get it all cleaned up and looking better. We might end up painting the firewall white and the front end white. Still kind of talking about that. We've got to get the front end put back on it and just wait for our motor and transmission to get back. So the next thing we're going to work on while we're waiting for that is to work on the interior. We have to figure out a way to mount these seats a little bit better. How they're mounted, they're to a really thin piece of metal. It's pretty flimsy, not very sturdy, so we want to make that a little bit safer. And maybe get different seats. Drew's not a fan of these seats. I don't know, we haven't really talked about that too much, so we'll get that all figured out. We are also going to get this old carpet out of here. We've already got part of it pulled up because Drew was accessing some issues in the floor and fixing those. I'm probably going to go back with a black carpet. And then we will have to figure out the steering column / pedals issue. I am way too short for where the pedals sit right now. I'm basically on top of the steering wheel. Drew is not happy with that. So we're going to try and figure out a way to hopefully bring the pedals a little bit closer to me so that I am safer without having to cut down the steering column like we had originally talked about. Okay, so we would really like to find a way to get the seats mounted as far back as we can to help with weight distribution. So we got to figure that out as well. And then probably going to do some metal work in the floor. What else are we gonna do?
Put some doors on it that don't have Lexane.
Drew really wants it to have windows that I can roll down. Heaven forbid if something happens, I'm not able to get out. So can have that safety feature for his peace of mind as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of got everything caught up to date. We got a plan So hopefully we can keep getting even more stuff done. I think we're still about 2 weeks away maybe from getting our motor and transmission back. So still got plenty of time to get things figured out. All right. Drew's been out here in the garage all morning working on my car. He has been doing some welding, and we're trying to figure out some logistics in relation to him being able to drive the car, but also me being able to drive the car safely. It's a pretty big issue given the fact that I'm 5 foot tall and Drew is 6'1". So we already knew from me sitting in the car that there was an issue with the seat placement, because in order for me to touch the pedals, I have to be all the way forward, and the steering wheel is just a few inches from my chest, and my feet are still like tippy-toe on the pedals, which is not the greatest ideal placement. So we've been really trying to figure out how's the best way to address this. So let me show you what he has done so far. I think I mentioned in a previous clip that there was a hole, a really big hole up there in the front of the passenger footwell that Drew's already welded and taken care of. Today, he worked on repairing these 3 holes. Here's a little closer look. So there was quite a few areas in this car where smoke and fire could have gotten through. So now we've got that all patched. I say we, Drew did all that. So he's gotten this all patched so that it's safer. We will have to relocate the shifter because my little short arms. So we're still trying to figure out placement on all of that. So the problem, pedals wise, there is my foot, when I'm sitting in the seat at a comfortable distance from the steering wheel, my feet only sit about right here. So there's probably 3 or 4 inches from the pedals that I can't reach to. So we're going to have to figure out how to build those forward and down so that I can still reach the pedals and be able to depress them fully without being on my tippy toes. Probably going to have to resituate how the seats actually mount. The front is mounted on this cross member here. It causes the seat to kind of sit tilted like this, which gives me even less travel. So a lot of things we have to think through. We do have the carpet. It's over there. So we're just waiting to figure out the most logistical placement for everything between the both of us before we get all that put in. Drew is inside looking up new pedals and seats. Hopefully we can find a good combination that works for the both of us. So I'm going to go in and help him with that. In the meantime, we are still waiting on motor and transmission. We were hoping to hear before this weekend about that, but no word yet. So hopefully here in the next couple of days, we get the call that those are ready and we can go pick them up. And then we'll spend the next 1 to 2 weeks getting the motor put back together, getting the transmission in, the motor in, hopefully getting the pedal situation fixed, getting the seats in, getting the carpet down, and then we should be ready to try it out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I'm hoping that we have this car actually out on the track for some testing in 2 weeks. We'll see if that happens. So for now, we're just kind of waiting